Hi, welcome back to Kino Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a 2021 fantasy adventure film called Jungle Cruise. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins, recounting the Amazonian legend of the Tears of the Moon. A magical tree with the power to cure any illness and break any curse. Many expeditions searched for the tree, the most famous being the conquistador Aguirre, who was determined to possess its power. The jungle protected the magical tree, and one by one killed Aguirre's men. A dying Aguirre was found by the guardians of the tree, who nursed him back to health. When recovered, Aguirre demanded the sacred arrowhead, the key to finding the Tears of the Moon. The guardians refused, so the conquistadors attacked them. As punishment, Aguirre and his men were cursed to live forever, never being able to leave sight of the Amazon River. Cut to 1916 London, England, where McGregor is presenting a study of the Tears of the Moon to an archaeological society. His sister Lily is up in the gallery, mouthing the words to the presentation that she obviously wrote. McGregor concludes, requesting access to the arrowhead that the society recently acquired. A senior society member emphatically denies his request. Seeing this, Lily sneaks away, while McGregor stalls society members. Lily steals through the halls, following a map sketched on her forearm. She rounds a corner and bumps into Prince Joachim, who is also seeking the Tears of the Moon to aid the German war effort. Joachim directs Lily upstairs to the secretary's gallery. While McGregor continues to stall, Lily breaks into the society archive. She changes into men's safari clothing. After some clever skulking, she manages to find the arrowhead. Just then Joachim enters the room, escorted by a senior society member. He's paid a lot of gold for the arrowhead. Joachim finds the arrowhead missing, but spots Lily, and shouts for the men to stop her. Lily springs into action, and daringly and creatively avoids capture, until Joachim stops her. Lily and the latter fall out of a nearby window, leaving Lily hanging on for dear life. Joachim offers Lily her life in exchange for the arrowhead. Below, her brother gets kicked out of the society, and when he sees Lily, hails a passing double-decker bus. Lily has no choice but to throw Joachim the box. He elbows the latter and Lily falls, luckily into the double-decker bus, and the pair escape. Joachim opens the box, to find Lily switched the arrowhead for a toy toucan. The society member apologizes profusely, but Joachim has to kill everyone when he announces his name. Shortly after, Lily is packing for the Amazon while McGregor sips tea. Lily is excited about finding the Tears of the Moon, in hopes to save countless lives and change the world. She expertly cons McGregor into coming with her, and the scene is set. Cut to Porto Velho, Brazil, where a group of nervous tourists are taking a tour on a run-down charter boat, L'Aquila. Frank, the skipper, appalls his customers with truly terrible dad jokes. He also uses cheesy props to convince them the Amazon is the most dangerous place in the world, where everything can, and will, kill them. He even pays a local tribe to stage a mock attack, and cons one terrified passenger to pay extra, to get them back to port quicker. Meanwhile, Lily and McGregor arrive in the little port town by train, and begin looking for a charter boat. Little do they know they're being followed. Down on the docks, Frank kicks his customers off his boat. Nilo, the local tyrant, arrives to demand Frank return money he borrowed to buy a new engine. Frank doesn't have enough, so Nilo takes his engine and locks it away. Nilo tells Frank if he pays in a week, he'll get his engine back, otherwise he'll lose his whole boat. Nilo wants to own all the boats in Porto Velho. Back in town, McGregor and Lily discover a busy local tavern and inquire about Nilo. Upstairs, Nilo locks the key to Frank's engine away, while Frank looks on. Lily asks the barman about Nilo, and is directed upstairs. Nilo leaves and Frank breaks into his office, just as Lily knocks on his door. Lily starts a conversation with Frank, thinking he is Nilo. Frank tries to get rid of Lily, while trying to get the key to get his engine back. Lily mentions she has money, and immediately Nilo's door is open. Lily explains she needs to go upriver to Lagrimas de Cristal. Frank tells her he knows the entire river, and it's too dangerous. Frank recognizes Lily's map and asks where she got it. Lily explains it was drawn by Aguirre's own cartographer, and belonged to her father. Frank makes fun of Lily, and proposes a safe tourist adventure instead. Lily notices the locked box behind Frank, and unlocks it for him in seconds. Impressed, Frank takes the job. Downstairs, Frank orders on Nilo's tab, and they haggle. Just as they're settling, McGregor arrives with Nilo. Lily realizes Frank lied, and as she tells him off, Frank spots the arrowhead around her neck. Immediately desperate, Frank drops his price and tells Lily he's the only one that can do the job. Just then, a jaguar strolls into the tavern looking hungry. Everyone is mortified, and Nilo legs it. The jaguar lunges for McGregor, and Frank jumps in. Frank and the jaguar tussle, and eventually Frank throws a stake out of the window, and the jaguar follows. Frank is cheered as a hero. Lily admits he is capable, and hires him on the condition they leave in 10 minutes. Frank steals his engine back, and we see that the jaguar, Proxima, is his pet. Frank meets Lily and McGregor at the dock, and while he throws McGregor's luggage in the river, Lily gets kidnapped. McGregor notices his sister is missing, just as Nilo's men sound the alarm. Frank and McGregor are forced to cast off to escape Nilo's men. Meanwhile, Lily makes a break for it, and creates chaos in the process. Frank leaves McGregor at the helm and jumps ashore to help Lily. After a tense chase, Lily and Frank escape, and make it back to the boat. Lily takes the long way round, because she can't swim. Joachim, whose submarine is currently in the harbor, is informed and immediately surfaces. He's serious about getting to the Tears of the Moon first. Joachim lets fly with his impressive gat, as Frank does a quick 180. While Joachim reloads, Frank pulls a tricky maneuver taking L'Aquila out of the line of fire. Frustrated, Joachim dives and loosens off a torpedo. The trio see it coming and Frank powers towards Nilo's warehouse. The boat smashes into the warehouse, lifting it up and out of the way. A stray rope gets caught in the submarine's propeller and it veers into the docks, destroying all of Nilo's boats. Our trio celebrate and escape the harbor. Later, Frank makes repairs to L'Aquila, talking softly and even kissing her, which Lily finds odd. While McGregor swelters in the Amazonian heat, Lily thinks it's fantastic. She is delighted when a large pod of river dolphins visit the boat. Frank tries to entertain the siblings with dad jokes. McGregor laughs, but Lily is not impressed. Lily uses the time on the boat to film nature, animals, and even Frank. Frank is fascinated and experiments with the camera, and starts developing an attraction to Lily. Lily notices they are headed for a tributary that will add 2 days to their journey, and tells Frank to take the quicker route. Frank points out the quicker route will take them through dangerous rapids, but after a brief argument changes course as requested. Meanwhile, Joachim decides to find Agira, which confuses his men, who think the curse of Agira is just a story. Back on the boat, Frank drops anchor for the night, despite Lily's protests. When Lily asks about a bath, he tells her the Amazon is right there. She is not impressed. When McGregor asks about food, Frank shoots a rat and uses it to net some piranha. Later that evening after dinner, McGregor turns in for the night, and Frank and Lily spend time together and start to warm up to each other. They're startled when McGregor is chased above deck by Proxima. It's soon obvious that Proxima is Frank's pet, and Lily gets upset and immediately loses all trust in him. Meanwhile, Joachim has found the cavern where Agira has been trapped for centuries. He applies a few drops of river water to Aguirre's petrified body and 2 snakes emerge. Joachim offers to free the conquistadors if they get the arrowhead for him, and then they can both get what they want, the Tears of the Moon. A deal is struck, and Joachim detonates charges that divert the river to the cavern, releasing the conquistadors. The next morning, the siblings wake and the crew prepare to enter the rapids. Frank sees Lily giving the arrowhead to McGregor and tells Proxima to get it for him. Proxima follows McGregor below deck. She chases McGregor above deck and searches his luggage. The rapids are as rough as Frank said, and the siblings are terrified. Frank maneuvers through them and avoids scuttling the boat. Frank taunts Lily to turn back, but she insists they go on. Below deck, a wine bottle opens and Proxima tucks in. Soon the boat comes to a massive waterfall that they almost go over. With skillful piloting and some coaxing of the boat's engine, Frank avoids the waterfall and moves into calmer waters. The siblings are feeling very green, so Frank offers them cured piranha and they both vomit. Frank finds Proxima drunk and without the arrowhead. She also pukes and passes out. Later, they stop to gather wood, and Frank and McGregor have a chance to get to know each other. Back on the boat, Lily breaks into Frank's room and goes through his things. Looks like Frank loves motor cars. She discovers a wealth of material on the Tears of the Moon. When Frank returns, Lily confronts him. Frank assures her he's no longer seeking the magical tree, despite it being the reason he came to the Amazon. He says he spent his life searching for what can't be found and is now stuck on the river, wishing he could be anywhere else. Lily believes him and offers to help. Suddenly, a local tribe attack the trio with blow darts, knocking them out. They kidnap them, and take them to their village. Frank says they're headhunters, as they're brought before the chief, aka Trader Sam. Frank addresses Trader Sam in the local language. He tells the siblings he offered to stay if they let them go. Trader Sam interrupts, clearly pissed. Frank relays the only thing they want is the arrowhead, stolen from them long ago. They can give it up and be free, or refuse and be eaten. Lily tells Trader Sam she'll give the arrowhead back after she's found the Tears of the Moon, shocking Frank and McGregor. Just then Lily makes a break for it and grabs a spear, but is confused when the villagers won't fight her. They break character and laugh, and Trader Sam tells Frank next time she'll charge more for this booga booga nonsense. It's clear the villagers are working for Frank and this was yet another ruse to steal the arrowhead. Frank tries to explain it was pre-arranged and he didn't have time to call it off, but both siblings slog him. Later, Trader Sam helps Lily interpret the markings on the arrowhead. Frank looks on, worried that Lily will never forgive him. McGregor confirms he is 100% correct. The arrowhead states, to be worthy one must turn water into stone and mend a broken heart. It says for the tree to bloom it must be under the rare crying moon, which is due in 2 days. Lastly, It states the tree hides where the fang bites its own tail. Lily remembers a matching pattern on her map and works out the tree's location. She announces she'll go alone, tells Frank exactly what she thinks of him, pays him out, and dismisses him. That night, the cursed conquistadors attack the village seeking the arrowhead. They each have supernatural abilities and the villagers don't stand a chance. Frank tries to save Lily but fails miserably. The beehive conquistador grabs the arrowhead from Lily and throws it to Agira. Frank and Agira fight and struggle for the artifact. Agira stabs Frank, and he grabs the arrowhead and throws it to Lily as he falls. Traitor Sam saves the siblings, and tells Lily to run away from the river. She tries, but the conquistadors soon catch up. She looks like a goner, but the jungle comes alive and throws them back to the river. The conquistadors gather themselves and dispatch bees to Joachim, to fill him in. The following morning, while searching for McGregor, Lily is delighted to find Frank alive and well. Traitor Sam and McGregor show up, and notice the large dagger sticking out of Frank's back. They're shocked, and Frank is forced to admit he's one of Aguirre's conquistadors and is roughly 400 years old. After a lot of procrastination, Lily pulls the dagger out of Frank's chest and McGregor faints. Lily wakes him up to tell him she and Frank are continuing on. Meanwhile, the bees reach Joachim's submarine. They have a conversation and the bees show him the location of the arrowhead. Joachim orders his men to change course, and they are a little concerned. Back on Frank's boat, Lily patches Frank up and he tells her about his life. Frank was Aguirre's best friend, and agreed to help him find the magical tree, to save his dying daughter. He was a cartographer, and drew Lily's map. One by one Aguirre's men died, but Agira would not turn back. They were saved by the guardians of the magical tree and healed by its petals. But Agira was desperate to save his daughter and soon demanded access to the tree. When the chief refused, Agira attacked. Frank defended the villagers, saving the chief's daughter who escaped with the arrowhead. The dying chief cursed Aguirre's entire party to live for eternity, never able to leave sight of the river. In the following years, Frank and Agira fought again and again, until Frank trapped the conquistadors in a cavern, where they stayed for 300 years. In that time he built the town port of Vellu, making and losing friends over the years. He built a boat, L'Aquila, and searched for the tears of the moon, charting every inch of the river. Eventually he gave up and started giving river tours. Over the years he adopted orphan cats, one after another, hence the name, Proxima. Meanwhile, McGregor is driving Traitor Sam mad, singing while they paddle down the river. Joachim catches up with McGregor and Traitor Sam abandons him immediately. Joachim threatens to kill 400 villagers, and forces McGregor to tell him the tree's location. Joachim kills the conquistadors' bees to keep it a secret. Later, Frank tells Lily when he finally finds the tree he will have a choice, and he will choose to rest. He explains he has seen everything there is to see, hundreds of thousands of times. The next day they arrive at La Runa Rota. Lily thinks it must be where water turns to stone, as per the arrowhead. Frank investigates and finds an ancient mechanism, with a lever, but is too big to reach it. He surfaces, and tells Lily she'll have to do it. She freaks out because she can't swim, but Frank persuades her, telling her he needs her, and in they go. Lily enters the chamber, and accidentally traps herself inside. After a tense struggle she manages to push the lever, stopping the waterfalls and draining the cove. But it takes time and Lily passes out. When Frank finally gets to her, he thinks she's drowned. She comes around slapping him hard for leaving her. As ancient structures are revealed, they realize they've found it. Lily tells Frank he'll be free of the river, and can come with her to London. But Frank says his mind is made up, and that it's his time. Lily gets upset and suggests she might be enough for him to stay. He agrees. Just then the pair are shocked to see Joachim's submarine. When Joachim opens the hatch, a surviving bee escapes. Joachim and his men board Frank's boat and force Lily to give up the arrowhead. Joachim reveals he'll use the tears of the moon not only to win the war, but to rule the world for eternity. He orders Frank to take them to the magical tree. When they reach the ancient tree it appears to be long dead. Joachim orders Lily to make it bloom, and threatens to kill her. Frank says he'll do it if Joachim releases the siblings, and gives him a single petal. He agrees but keeps McGregor hostage on the boat. Joachim gives Frank the arrowhead, but he struggles to solve the puzzle. Lily agrees to help, but only if she can have a petal as well. Joachim says he'll give the pair one petal, and asks Frank if he'll give his petal to Lily. When Frank says she'd have to kill him first, she understands and agrees. Lily reads the relief, and remembers they must mend a broken heart. They realize the arrowhead is the heart, and break it to find a ruby inside. They insert the ruby and the mended heart into the puzzle, and the tears of the moon comes alive, and blooms in the light of the moon. As planned, Lily snatches a gun and shoots Frank. He falls to the bottom of the cavern and lands in the river. Joachim orders his men to pluck the petals before the moon passes. Back at the boat, Frank takes the guards by surprise and he and McGregor take them out. When the last guard pulls a gun, McGregor whistles and Proxima takes care of him. Joachim is startled by the gunshot and Lily makes a break for it. She gets up into the tree, but the moon has almost passed and the petals are dying. She manages to grab the last petal, but falls to a lower limb where Joachim is waiting. She sees the tree is breaking, throws the petal for Frank, and grabs Joachim. As Joachim's men fall, she and the prince are drawn up, and she is saved. Frank manages to grab the petal, almost falling into the river, but is saved by Proxima. At that moment, the conquistadors materialize, and attack Joachim for his betrayal. They chase Lily, but Frank shows them the petal, and they round on him. Frank wraps the petal in a kerchief, gets McGregor and Proxima off the boat, and powers toward the entry of the cavern. The conquistadors catch up to him and try to take him down, but he manages to hold them off. Meanwhile, it turns out Joachim is not dead, and he comes for McGregor and Lily. McGregor loses it and beats him up, before he is flattened by a falling column. Back on the boat, the conquistadors manage to pin Frank down, but Aguirre is shocked to see Frank doesn't have the petal. He gave it to McGregor to give to Lily. Aguirre screams as the boat smashes into the cavern wall, and it collapses. It blocks the river and the cavern drains. The jungle takes Frank and the others and they're petrified because they can't be returned to the river. Lily is upset and gives up her petal in an attempt to free Frank from the ancient curse. Nothing happens, and the siblings begin to leave. The petal begins to work, and hearing Proxima, Lily runs back and into Frank's arms, and they kiss. And it's time for a group hug. Frank sees a ray of moonlight from a hole in the cavern roof, and a single petal blooms. They triumphantly return to Porto Velho on a broken-down raft, which Frank gives to Nilo, and they leave, victorious. Back in London, McGregor is making another presentation to the same stuffy archaeological society from earlier, about their adventure. He tells them they're unworthy crusty old farts, and that his sister, now a Cambridge professor, rejects their invitation of membership, and that they can shove it. Across town, Lily is preparing to give Frank his first driving lesson. Frank is impressed when Lily tells her first dad joke, and they drive off with Proxima in the back, weaving all over the road and creating havoc. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. For more videos, subscribe, and turn on notifications.